So now that your wallet is set up and you have some ADA in your wallet, you're just about ready to trade. But there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. And these things could really impact your trade. One second you're swapping ADA for a particular asset and you think you're doing well, but you're not getting the right amount that you're quoted. And something called slippage or price impact could have had an effect on your swap. And it's really important to know what these factors are so that you can avoid them in any of your trades. Let's have a look at slippage first. So here I am on the MinSwap DEX again, and I'm looking at this particular token here called Crawdew. Now, this is a meme coin and there's a lot of volatility in some of these meme coins. The price moves up and down and it's kind of unpredictable. So if I'm wanting to swap this particular token here and the price suddenly moves and fluctuates dramatically and it changes during a swap, that is called slippage. So let me show you by example here. So I want to trade some ADA for Crawdew. So here I have ADA, I've got some ADA in my wallet. So let's say I put in 30 ADA and I'll receive just over 12,000 Crawdew. Now, if the price here of Crawdew drops dramatically by the time I execute the swap, when the price drops down to, let's say, 0.019, my swap might actually execute at that point. And that is a bit of a drop down from up here where it is 0.02 to 0.01. And, that's not a really favorable trade for me. And that would result in a negative slippage. So I can control that by going to the settings here on the platform and put in my slippage tolerance. Now it's set at 0.5. So now if my swap goes outside of those particular bounds, then the trade won't execute and I'll just get my assets back. So you need to make sure that the slippage is set at a point where you are comfortable with. Now, there are certain scenarios where slippage might be really impactful. And something like a token launch, a meme coin just suddenly launching and a lot of attention and eyeballs on it, that could cause the price to swing dramatically and cause that slippage. So in those situations, you may need to make sure that you set the slippage at a predictable percentage that you're comfortable with. Now, in other circumstances, you may want to change that slippage tolerance and change it to a point where it's really high so that you're just moving those assets. You don't care about what the price is moving to. You just want in or you want out of a particular token. And you can set that slippage to something really, really high so that the trade will just go through no matter what. So that is slippage and something you really need to know about. The other big thing that you need to know about is price impact. And this happens when you're executing a trade on a decentralized exchange and the amount of tokens that you're trading against that particular liquidity pool where the assets are being held is probably too high and is causing an imbalance in the pool and is impacting the price of your trade. Let me show you by example here. So this is the meme coin SNEC, and this one has quite a bit of liquidity in its pool itself. So trading for this one here is usually okay. So let's have a look at some of these liquidity pools here. The ADA SNEC pool, let's look at the total TVL here, the total value locked, and is 6.172 million ADA in that particular pool. Now that's a lot of liquidity there. So if I'm doing a trade for a couple of hundred ADA for SNEC, the price impact won't be too high. And that is because there's a lot of liquidity to fill my order. Now, if I happen to be trading 12 million ADA worth of assets, there will be a problem because there isn't enough liquidity there. But let's have a look at one of these smaller pools here. Let's say maybe Min SNEC. There we go. TVL here is only 6.6 thousand ADA or 6.6 USD worth of assets. So let me do a trade here. So I'm going to this particular pool. There we go, SNEC and Min. So these are two Cardano native assets, not ADA itself. So I'll do a trade with that. Now I do have some Min in my wallet, so I can do this trade, but I'll start it with Min, swapping for SNEC. So here I've got 45 Min in my wallet, so I'm just going to trade 10 Min swap for a SNEC. And you can see here, I'll go open up the details, price impact 1.17%. That's really low. So my price might, value of that trade, the price of it that I get may just vary by 1.17. So that's not too bad. If I reduce that down further, my price impact may change a little bit, barely. But if I increase this here from 10 min to, let's say, 10,000 min, you can see here now that the price impact does change dramatically because there isn't enough liquidity in that pool. Again, if I change this to 100,000 min tokens, you can see here now the price impact goes up even further. That is because there's not enough liquidity in this particular pool. So there you go. That is another thing that you need to look out for when trading on a decentralized exchange. Make sure there is enough liquidity in the particular pool so that you don't get affected by price impact. So now that you know what price impact and slippage is, make sure you take that knowledge and arm yourself before executing any trades on any decentralized exchange in the crypto space.